Welcome, Diecast fans. I'm Tom Spanners Watson.
And I'm Frank Geary Gibbs.
And it's time for the second half of the Outlaws versus boy races and dad races.
We've got some very quick competitors in tonight's race, but they're going to have their work cut out for them as they go up against the overall top 5 Outlaws.
And in the previous race, we had the Toyota Celica and the Mazda RX-7 take down 2 Outlaws, but that left Rust Bucket, Munted and TKO alive. But tonight, it's Thrasher, Ratbird, Paving, Vagabond, and of course the current champion, Rubber Toe, driving the Baroness.
I'm really looking forward to seeing if any of these Outlaws survive or if they're going to clean up the competition this time round.
So we've still got all the streets blocked off, so there's no other traffic on the roads apart from the races.
And just like the last time, it's 3 in 1 lane. Then they race down to the finish. The last car in the first race is eliminated. Then the other 2 go again. But if the Outlaw comes in first the first race, they're both eliminated.
And of course, by your rules, if the Outlaw comes in last, they get permanently retired.
Well, in this first round, we got a Ford Focus driven by Derek, a Firebird driven by Bert, and they're going up against Mr. Dark driving Thrasher.
Thrasher, of course, was one of the fastest cars on the original Canyon track. He's done pretty well on this course as well. Currently sitting at number 5.
I wonder if he'll be the first one to take down both drivers in the first race.
Well, the Focus and the Firebird are getting out to a bit of a lead. The Focus goes over Mr. Dark right on the bumper of the Firebird. The Firebird pushing hard. Mr. Dark catches up again, but it doesn't look like he's going to get around him.
That was a very nice drive from the Firebird under all sorts of pressure from Mr. Dark. But look at this. He forced the error on the Focus to begin with, and he did a great job of holding out Mr. Dark, even though he's under all sorts of pressure all the way to the finish.
Whoa!
Wowzers!
Mr. Dark with a huge big aerial 180 there.
That was incredibly well done, very tidy, and lands it perfectly.
So the Focus got eliminated, he is out, and we send them back up to the top with the Firebird driven by Bert leading them out. Mr. Dark got to get around him this time or else he gets delisted.
Mr. Dark only needs the slightest of openings here, and I reckon he'll slide right by the Firebird.
I don't know that it's going to be that easy. That Firebird seems pretty quick.
Well, we both know that Mr. Dark's no slouch.
He's going to have to feed it some jandal just to catch up to the Firebird.
Okay, he might be in trouble here.
Here he goes, he puts some pace on, he's right up on the bumper of the Firebird. He's just in behind as they go into Big Kahuna Corner, but he can't quite get around.
An impressive burst of speed there by Mr. Dark to catch up through Petrolhead Corner, and he rode the bumper all the way into Big Kahuna Corner here, and I thought he was going to slip around him right at the end, but he just couldn't find the gap, unfortunately for him.
But it looks like Bert and the Firebird found Danger Man Dan, the cameraman, but Mr. Dark is delisted.
I'm really surprised Mr. Dark couldn't get around him, and it's unfortunate, but we say goodbye to him. Now it's Malcolm driving the Maxima Drift Wagon, Brent driving the Challenger Drift, and they're going up against Dirty Daddy G driving Ratbird.
What's with the additional nickname for Daddy G?
I mean, just based on his recent Outlaws performance, he's been pulling those dirty tricks to get around people, and he's going to need every one of them if he's going to stay in this race.
So the pressure on Daddy G here, he's got to get around that Challenger. The Challenger cuts to the inside, but he goes into the sidewall. He blocks out Daddy G. Then Maxima getting out to a huge lead here. Ratbird looks like he's managed to get past the Challenger. Can he hold on? Yes, he does. So at least he's moving through to the second race.
It was almost all over for Daddy G right at the start here. The Challenger cut around, bounced off the sidewall, and then Daddy G tried to go up the inside, but instead he hit the back of the Challenger. That sent him flying and slowed Ratbird right down. But Daddy G, being a seasoned competitor, found the gas pedal, gave it the beans down the final straight, and then look at the Challenger trying to block him out. Daddy G went left and right, found the gap, and powered on down to the finish line.
So it's adios Brent and the Challenger Drift. Now Ratbird has to get around Malcolm in the Maxima Drift Wagon.
Well, as we just saw in that last race, this Maxima is definitely quick. Malcolm's obviously done a nice tune job on it, even though he did buy it.
Ratbird is going to have to stay locked to the tail of this Maxima. He's not going to be able to afford to let it get out to any sort of a lead here. But there he goes, the Maxima out ahead of Daddy G. Daddy G with a burst of speed through the second toggling and a textbook overtake down the second straight through Big Kahuna Corner, and he's going to take the win.
Daddy G absolutely schooled Malcolm here. Look at this. I think he may have even flipped him the bird as he drove past. But what a superb drive here. Look at that. Found his line, cut it into the corner perfectly, and raced on down nice and clean the whole way.
Superb demonstration of overtaking done right at Echo City there by Ratbird, and Daddy G holds on to his spot.
Next up, we've got Richard driving the Subaru Impreza, Larry driving the Camaro, and they're going up against Bobby Orr driving Paving.
So we're 2 races in. There's 1 win to the dad races,
which is also the first win of the series.
Nothing for the boy races so far, and 1 win to the Outlaws.
The boy races did manage to take down 2 Outlaws last time, so don't write them off just yet.
Larry nudging the back of Richard's Subaru there. Richard finds an extra gear, starts to stretch out a lead. Bobby Orr getting left behind. Larry chasing him down. Larry spins. Did Paving get around? He did. Paving manages luckily to hold on to his spot.
It was basically all over for Paving there. Bobby Orr was so far behind. Luckily for him, Larry spun around. Paving found the gap and made it all the way to the finish line.
Paving has been a top competitor on the Outlaw list. He ruled the list at the old track for a long time. Maybe Paving's starting to show some wear and tear.
To be fair, those old cars took a real pounding on the old track, and it's surprising that he even lasted this long.
Bobby Orr is going to have to find an extra gear if he's going to get around that Subaru.
Or, you know, he could just barrel through it and smash him off the track.
Well, let's not encourage total carnage, Frank. Okay, they get underway. Richard out in the lead. Paving right up on his bumper here. Paving tries to go up the inside, gets denied. The Subaru drifts, slows down. Bobby Orr catching up again as they go into Big Kahuna corner. The Subaru gets out in the front, and unfortunately, Bobby Orr doesn't have the legs to get around him.
I must say, I was really impressed at the start here. Bobby Orr right up on the tail of that Subaru, and then he tried a nice little overtake here, but unfortunately had the door slammed in his face. But being Bobby Orr, he didn't give up. But Richard, being a little overconfident as a boy racer, tries to drift, gets the wrong gear, slows right down. That allowed Bobby Orr to catch right up to him again, and unfortunately, just going through Big Kahuna corner, Bobby Orr couldn't quite get it right, but to be fair, he was driving in reverse there.
So close for Bobby Orr, but unfortunately, that is his time done. He has been delisted.
It's been great having Bobby Orr around. Paving was great while he lasted, but now he's done like a dog's dinner. Moving on, we got Jack driving the Toyota Scion, Dave driving the El Camino, and Vagabond driven by Big Mac trying to get around both of them.
I think Big Mac's going to have some problems getting around the El Camino. It's extra wide, extra low, and it's got plenty of grunt under the hood.
Well, in the first race, he only has to get around one of them to carry on.
Jack in the pink Scion out to a lead. The El Camino goes up. Vagabond with an incredible move around both drivers. Can he hold it together?
You can do it.
Nice and clean through Big Kahuna corner, and he's going to take an amazing win.
This was the most incredible run I've ever seen. Look at that, the El Camino goes through, but Vagabond cuts to the outside, overtakes him, muscles his way past the El Camino. Big Mac just took those drivers to school.
That is by far the most impressive driving display we have seen yet at Echo City, and Big Mac left both of them behind. Now, nice work there from Jack to get back around the El Camino. He did come in second place, but that doesn't matter because the Outlaw won in the first race, and that is the first time that's happened. Congratulations, Big Mac.
What a little ripper. That is the way you do it as an Outlaw. No wonder he's number 2, and you know what? It's the flame paint job that did it.
You know what? Maybe it was. Let's have another look at that. What an overtake there. I can't believe he picked that line so perfectly.
Big Mac showing why he's the legend that he is.
So Big Mac retains his number 2 spot, and depending on what happens with the Baroness now, he could end up in the number 1 spot.
The Baroness is, of course, the fastest of the Outlaws, but the Evo has a reputation from other tracks of being super quick, and I did watch that IROC Z doing some maneuvers before, and that thing is lightning fast.
The Baroness has successfully defended her crown at the top of the list before. Can she do it again? The Evo leading them into Bogan Alley, but he's crashed. Away goes the IROC Z. Rubber toe right up on the bumper of the IROC Z, trying to find a gap. Can he do it? He gets around through Big Kahuna corner and he takes the win.
Rubber toe was working harder than a one-arm paper hanger there to get around that IROC Z. The Evo took the wrong line into that first corner. Rubber toe set his sights on the back of that IROC Z, and look at this. He was all over that thing. The IROC Z did everything he could to block him out. The Baroness finds a gap up the outside. The IROC cuts right back in front of him, tries to shut him out through Big Kahuna corner, but Rubber toe was having none of that. He's got a reputation to defend, and he takes the win first time down.
The two top Outlaws proving why they're at the top of the list, winning their race the first time out. That was an incredible show of force.
I hope all those other drivers are paying attention because those two put on a masterclass today.
When you told me the rules, I gotta say I didn't think there was any chance an Outlaw was going to make it all the way from the back to the front in one race, but there we saw it happen twice.
Of course, that does mean that we've opened up 4 spots on the list, but the bigger question is what happens now to the losers?
Well, you said they were delisted and they just don't get to race anymore. Did you have something else in mind?
Well, you see, I was having a bit of a chat to Max Havoc before, and we came up with a brilliant idea. Check this out.
Why is Griffin Cross parked on the finish line?
Oh, just wait, mate. You're going to love this.
Hang on a second. Is that Max driving the Tesla truck?
You know it. This is going to be amazing.
Hang on a second. Griffin Cross isn't still in the car, is he?
Probably not, but too late now.
I can't believe you. Oh!
Nailed it. That is going to leave a mark.
Griffin Cross getting a surprising amount of air there, getting flipped onto his roof, and the billboard taking some punishment as well.
And luckily I've got lots of cameras to cover it. Look at that. He just got nailed.
So I'm guessing that is definitely the end of Broken Wings.
Oh, very much so. Broken wings will not be breaking my heart again.
Hang on, are you doing that to all 4 drivers that lost?
Darn Skippy, mate. They lost, they're off the list, they're delisted. Let's make sure they never race again.
But just the cars, right? Like the drivers aren't in the trunk or anything stupid, are they?
What, in the trunk? No, don't be silly.
Hang on, not in the car either, right?
And boom goes the dynamite.
Right, Frank? There's no driver in the car?
Click got so high, the view from up there must have been incredible.
Should I be concerned that you're not answering me?
Hey, look, the last time I saw all the drivers, they were all alive and breathing.
Yeah, but where did you see them?
They were down by the... Oh, look at that. That is such a big hit.
Look, if the cops come asking, I'm giving them your details.
Come on, Spanners, just relax and enjoy the show. Now it's Bobby Orr's turn in Cave-In.
See, when you say things like Bobby Orr in Cave-In, that worries me that he's still in the vehicle.
No, I'm just teasing, mate. I set up a tab down at the Steel Horse Saloon and they're just hanging out sinking schooners.
Oh, well, that's a relief.
And down goes Cave-In.
Cave-In getting quite acrobatic there. Look at that, spinning it around.
And how about Max Havoc driving the Tesla truck? That thing's indestructible.
I gotta say, it is very impressive watching that thing thunder down the track like that.
Now it's time to raise a glass to Mr. Dark and say farewell to Thrasher.
It was a shame he couldn't get around that Firebird, but that Firebird, the only dad racer to make it through to the final.
You know, just thinking about this truck and how well it's doing, I can feel an extremely good idea coming on.
The last time you had a good idea,
boom, down he goes.
We ended up with a canyon full of dinosaurs running loose.
And how fun was that?
Well, it wasn't fun for the cameraman, he got eaten.
Yes, but did he die? No, he made it out alive. The old worry war.
Well, before you go and start anything, can we at least discuss it?
No, it's too late, mate. The wheels are already in motion. No pun intended.
Oh man, that is some severe carnage. You really weren't joking when you said they would be delisted and never race again.
If nothing else, mate, I'm a man of my word.
I guess we're just lucky they didn't explode at all.
Oh shoot, that's a really good point, mate. We probably shouldn't stand this close to them. There's fuel everywhere.
So you've thinned out the list, we've lost a bunch of cars. What next?
Well, first things first, I think we better clear everybody out of here so we don't get blamed for that billboard damage.
Yeah, okay, that's a good plan. But what about replacement drivers for the Outlaws?
I've just about finished a new set of rules for the next season, and we'll be posting a driver call shortly.
So, for anyone that's ever wanted a shot at the canyon, you're going to have to stay tuned to the channel for the details.